Today I'm going to talk about Starship Troopers, based on Robert Heinlein's classic novel. Man vs. Monster, Interstellar Warfare in the 22nd Century. It's from Avalon Hill in 1876. Cover art is very, very fitting for the time and definitely evokes the early classic science fiction. And it's a bookcase game. It's very closely tied in with the classic novel. Robert Heinlein actually kind of made a statement here about it. You can see it's actually looks like it's typed from a typewriter back from the era, so it's kind of neat. So a little bit about what he says. Robert Heinlein. Playing units of the Terran Federation, the mobile infantry are an elite corps akin to the U.S. Marine Corps or U.S. Army paratroopers. The enemies are non-human aliens. One sort are the arachnids, something like giant spiders. Arachnids are underground creatures, burrowing tunnels in which they live and work. Skinnies are a humanoid race that fights the Terran Federation early in the war. In a later phase, they are allied with the humans to fight the arachnids. Again, Robert Heinlein. Some more theme, actually, in the rules. They have various sketches, and in particular, on the back, you get to see a little bit stand here, but a sketch of what the mobile infantry would look like. These are skinnies, the humanoids mentioned, and this discuss the arachnid hive complex. As far as the components then, there's the rule book, which is 24 total pages, and again, it's got several sketches in it. It's kind of neat. It's set up in a series of scenarios where you learn by the scenarios and you progress. And there's these player aid charts, a couple of these. Alien attack table, SWD loss chart, mobile infantry carrying capacities, Terran attack table, and terrain effects chart. Then you have this pad with several, each player would use them. On one side, you have the alien control pad where you tunnel movement, etc. Keep track of all that for the alien. And then on the other side for the Terran, it's the structure of their platoons and tracking damage, etc. And a time record chart. It doesn't come with a tray, although I'd recommend you use one because it's got a lot of counters. I trimmed up a GMT tray, but there's several different kind of trays you can use. But like I said, a good mix of counters, and they're standard half-inch by half-inch. I round them off. I usually round things off so they look a little bit better. And some are two-sided, most are one-sided, but nice color schemes, and they look pretty well. Some nice dice too, nice kind of sharp-edged dice. As far as the unique counters, they're displayed in the rules here, so I'll just kind of actually set them up according by their definitions. First of all, the way units are set up are some of the designators would indicate the parent unit, the attack strength, the defense strength, the movement allowance, the unit type, and the identification number. The unique units then are, for Terrans, Command, Marauder, Scout, Combat Engineer Squad, Air Car, Special Talent, Delayed Action Proximity, MI, Delayed Action Remote, MI, Heavy Nerve Gas, MI, Listening Device, Heavy Explosive, Demolition Munitions, Nuclear Demolition Munitions, and these are C. Miscellaneous units, Retrieval Boat, Rocket Beacon, Captured Arachnid Brain. The alien units then, the humanoid or skinnies are the yellow ones here, the yellowish gold. So the humanoids, Warrior, Worker, Heavy Weapon Beam, Heavy Weapon Missile, Strong Point, Decoy, and some have indicators of different types on the back, and some are only, one-sided. Critical installation counters, power, communications, water. And these are the arachnids. Warrior, worker, heavy weapon, some indicator counters, perimeter marker, breach marker, radiation, red, area marker, damage indicators, heavy damage, wounded action, killed in action, disrupted, and then there's a tunnel movement counter. That's the counters. Here's the map. It's just excellent. It's a board mounted map. Comes in these 3 sections, and it's really a work of art. You'd be hard pressed to find a better map than this, in my opinion. Each hex is a mile across, and then the terrain effects chart shows you what the different types are. Here's savanna, rough terrain, barren, city spaceport, and then road. So like I said, this is from 1976, but it holds up well against anything even today. And all the hexes are numbered, of course. And then here it goes through the scenarios, and I'll talk through them a little bit. I'll go through scenario 4 in detail, but scenario 1 is Feint against humanoids, 2 is Operation Bughouse, 3 is Invasion of Skinny 5, 4 that I'll be doing is scenario 4 is Bolt, 5 is a Sheol Operation Corkscrew, 5B is Sheol Retreat and Evacuation, 6 is Operation Royalty, 7 is Glendathu, The Last Battle. I'm doing scenario 4, Revolt. 2157.12.10, you see savage raids against their interplanetary systems and increased and intense covert negotiations had convinced the humanoids to abandon their erstwhile arachnid allies. Implementation of humanoid disengagement, however, was complicated by the arachnid occupation of several key humanoid planets. These watchdog garrisons would have prevented peaceful termination of hostilities. Only the guarantee of active Terran intervention finally persuaded the humanoids to attempt to regain control of their occupied systems. As a humanoid revolt began, small task forces of mobile infantry and combat engineers were dispatched deep into enemy space to aid the hard-pressed humanoid forces. Violent pitched battles, witnessing some of the most desperate combat of the war, were fought on every occupied planet. Scenario 4 portrays one of these ferocious encounters. Arachnid set up first, construct tunnel complex anywhere on the map board before humanoid player sets up. Humanoid set up second, anywhere on map board, move first. Terran enter any turn. After game, turn 4 on a die roll of 1 or 2. Roll a die once at the beginning of each Terran humanoid player segment. Mobile infantry units enter as per initial draw procedure. Units must be positioned on barren terrain hexes prior to drop. Engineer and aircar units enter the game in the same turn by moving onto the map board from any hex on south edge. Move first. Game length, 15 turns. Special rules. 1. Terran and humanoid units move together during the same player segment. They may move and function normally with these limitations. A. Terran and humanoid units may not voluntarily stack together or remain in the same hex unless they're involuntarily immobilized as a result of combat. B. Terran and humanoid units may not combine attack strengths for any type of ranged or close combat. They may not attack the same enemy unit, same combat phase. C. Humanoid units use the Terran attack table when attacking arachnid units and vice versa. Arachnid demolition charges may not be emplaced within 2 hexes of any city or spaceport hex. Tunnel segments, however, may be placed and function normally anywhere in the map board. Victory conditions. Humanoid Terran accumulate more victory points than the arachnid player. At the end of the game, arachnid accumulate as many or more victory points than the humanoid Terran player at the end of the game. Victory points are ordered as follows. Humanoid Terran player receives the following points for each of the unit types listed below. Occupying a safe spaceport hex at the end of the game. Each warrior unit 1 point, each MICE, each W unit 2 points. The Arachnid player receives the following points for each enemy unit WIA, KA, or destroyed. Warrior unit 1 point, each MICE, each W unit 2 points. Note humanoid Terran units that are KA, WA, or disrupted do not count for humanoid Terran victory point purposes. And then the forces are humanoid, 3 heavy beams, 2 heavy missiles, 9 workers, 6 strong points, and 18 warriors. Arachnid, 25 warriors, 25 workers, 5 heavy weapons. Terran, 3 command, 21 marauder, 3 scouts. 6 step, 6 star, 6 command engineer squads, 6 air cars, 18 HE. For the Arachnids then, here's the setup on the alien control pad. So I set the complex here with the queen, of course, at the center, the master brain on this hex, and the remaining 5 hexes around there are the combat brains. And from each combat brain, you have a path that goes out 10 hexes shown in each of these. These are the primary paths. And then on those primary paths, you can either have a secondary path that goes out 5, or 2 that go out 3. And on these, I have one that goes out, a secondary that goes out 5. The Arachnids, workers and warriors, have a movement value of 1. The Baron and the rough terrain have a movement cost of greater than 1, so the only place they can really move is the savannah. So there's an exception that I'll talk about. So I have these tunnels that make it all the way out to the savannah here. And then the secondary tunnels, this one they'll be mainly defensive posture and pop up where they have breaches, because they can't really move there with the exception of their heavy weapon. But on this one, I have it connecting up to the road, and by connecting up to the road, then you can get down to a half movement point cost, so you can move then across that terrain. At least my understanding is if you pop up right on the road. So it has a couple options there. It hooks up to the road here and also on the secondary path here. So that's the idea. Then as far as where the humanoids are located, I have these strong points in these locations, and within those I have 2 warriors and a worker that are contained in them. And then I have some warriors and workers in the city hexes here. And then finally, the heavy weapon beams and heavy weapon missiles here. So let's set up, and then we'll get into play. Just start in turn 5 here and show you where I'm at. So I just rolled a 2 that indicates the Terrans are going to be dropping in now. So I thought that'd be a good time to pick it up. What has happened is the Arachnids have breached some of their tunnels to come up to the surface. Here's the map, and they're doing a breach here, 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 and here. So over here. And then also they're breaching up on the road here from this combat brain path. So they got a breach up here, and they're also breaching here, and they can't really move there except their heavy weapon. And they've turns out their breach over here was right by a stronghold, and they came up with their heavy weapon and they had some workers and some warriors. Of course, the workers are just to distract them so that they attack the workers instead of the warriors. But they were over to overwhelm the strong point that was right here and destroyed the strong point and the units within it here. So they lost some workers and warriors here. So pretty heavy damage there. And they lost a warrior and a worker. And ideally it's, a 2-player, you kind of hide what you're doing, but for my purposes I have the Arachnids inverted because they have a mix of warriors and workers, and they have to confuse the humanoids about who the workers are, because the workers don't have any offensive capability. And the humanoids, the skinnies, are just kind of taking a defensive posture mainly. They've moved up some of their weapons here to kind of block their road going in. But they're just kind of waiting for the Terrans to come, and they're coming now. And since they popped up in the breach here, they can move on this road. If they were here, they can, because it costs a couple movement points, and they only have one. But that's why they popped up on the breach, so they can move in. As far as the structure of the Terran units coming down then, there's combat engineer platoon, 3 combat engineers, and then there's also 6 air cars, of course, running to that. Each of them there's 18 total, so I distributed 3 high energy munitions for each for a total of 18. And then there's 3 command units. I have a section here with a commander, and then 2 squads, and here a section commander with a squad, and then a platoon commander. So the full squads are 7 marauders and a scout, shown here. So 3 of those groups. There's 6 DAP and 6 DAR, so I distributed the DAP 1 each to 6 of the different marauders, and the DAR 1 each to 6 of the different marauders. This is the initial drop pattern, and we'll figure out the direction of launch. It's going in direction 1, so it's dropped in this direction, so that'll be our reference direction. And they go in lines of 9. And you can have some distance between them, but they have to at least 2 next to each other. I just went with a straight lines of 9. So you have, 7 marauders, a scout, and a leader. And now we do the scatter for the drop for the individual units. We determine they're going in direction 1, which is that's the reference point. Then we roll for each. I'll show a few here. This one is 3, so it goes in direction 3, and it goes 3 spots. Shown here. This one, 2. Direction 2, it goes up 2. One, he goes up 1. 3, this one also goes 3. And then we continue that. And this is after all the units have been scattered from the drop. So I'd like to shout out to Board Game Geek, because on the forums there's a lot of good insight into how to work through the rules and everything here, so I appreciate that. So after the airdrop, the Terrans at airdrop can't move anymore, but the units that didn't can in their movement phase, and the combat engineers are on the air cars. They're not affected by the terrain, so they can move quite far. So they're going to start, they don't want to get too far ahead of the marauders, but they want to kind of work towards the humanoids there, so. Then a couple will go back by these. So the rules say the humanoid and Terran is the same except for some jump activities. Some assume that since they're allies, the skinnies are moving at the same time as the Terrans do. So I'm new. I think I only want, I don't want to keep, if a strong point goes down, the things within it goes down as well. So I think I'll only keep humanoid workers in the strong points. So I'll keep that one there. And similarly, I'll just have workers in that strong point. Yeah, I'll still kind of keep them defensive. Group him with him. So they have a range of 6, so I'll move him up as well. And it's half point to move on there. 1, 2, 3. We'll keep these where they're at. And move him up so he can move 4 points, but it's half per each. So 1, 2, 3, I'll move there. So that's all the movement for the Terrans and humanoids. So now it's Terran and humanoid ranged weapon phase, followed by close combat phase. They have several that are in range. So the missiles have a range of 10, and the beams have a range of 6. So he's within this one. His attack is 12. Let's see what the defense is here. It's actually a defense of 8. The ratio is a 12 to an 8, but you round it down so it's a 1-to-1. Go to the Terran attack table here. 1-to-1. 5. Disrupted. Disrupted marker on that unit. It's good because that was a arachnid heavy weapon. And we'll look up here. The heavy beam, range of 6. That's within 5, so we can fire there, and he'll affect everything in the pile. And they're both gonna. So these two are gonna fire, and you combine their force against what's in the pile. So it's 18. 2 9. So then let's see what we have in the pile. 2 warriors and 2 workers. So we do them all individually. We'll do the workers. The ratio is 18-to-1. That is 6-to-1 plus. Disrupted. Okay, and lucky. Another disrupted. And then 18-6. Ratio of 3-to-1 for the warriors. Very unlucky. Miss. 6, finally. Eliminated. So they were unlucky, but they did take out one of the warriors. So those two, and now he'll be attacking there. So see what he's going against? He's going after a heavy weapon. It's 9-to-8, so a ratio of 1-to-1 again. Again, unfortunate miss. So he missed. That wasn't good. He also has ranged. He'll be going against this pile. It's a heavy missile. Let's see what we have here. 2 warriors and a worker. Ratio is 12-to-1, so 6 plus against a worker. 4. Eliminated. 12-to-6, ratio of 2. Unfortunately misses. 2. Another miss, so unlucky. And then the Terran humanoid close combat phase. For close combat, you have to be in the same hex, and there's none that are in the same hex right now. So then go to the arachnids. They're not doing any tunnel repair or anything like that. So now they go to their ranged, and their heavy weapons can fire 6, a range of 6. You'll go against him. So then 6, and it's a 18-to-8. Which rounds to a 2-to-1. The alien attack table is only used when Terran units are defending, but since this is a humanoid defending, we'll use the Terran attack table. It's ratio of 2-to-1. 4. Disrupted. Other ranged weapons. Let's see where they're heavy. Another heavy weapon here. He'll go against this unit, which is within 6, so it's 18-to-4, which is a 4-to-1 ratio. Fortunately misses. So actually these units are out of range of the humanoids, but they're obviously in range of the Terrans. So he's gonna see what he can do here. He's gonna go against a Marauder, 18-to-6, so a 3-to-1. And now you do the alien attack table. 4. Heavy. So he's stunned for a turn. I'll turn him over to indicate he's stunned. You lose extended jump capability, meaning attack, close combat phase, for the remainder of the game. Oh. Additionally, roll on the SW&E loss chart. It's heavy, and you roll a 5. No effect. All SW&E weapons remain usable. Okay. Then he'll go against that Marauder. Again, it's a ratio of 18-6, so 3-1. Healing attack table. Roll a 6. Kill. Okay, I can put a KA and I can remove them from play later. So that's their attack. And then they do movement. It's kind of stuck out here, so we'll kind of move back towards the tunnel. He's got a movement of 3, but he's on a road, so that means he can go 6. Actually, he's gonna stay in range there. These will start going back towards their tunnel. Similarly with them. He'll stay where he's at. They'll move back towards the tunnel. He's with a couple units that are disrupted, so the disrupted ones can't move, so he's gonna stay there. Somewhere he'll stay there. And that's their movement. And then they're not on the same hex as any Terran humanoids, so there's no close combat. Then we'll start another turn. So I'll do it just a little bit into the next turn. So there's special functions. The combat engineers haven't gotten off the air cars yet, so they can't do their mining, but when they do, they'll plan on planting some HE demolitions, and when they get a sense about where the arachnid tunnels might be, they'll try to put them around there. They don't quite know where they might be yet. They'll probably head over to the breaches. And then we'll do just a few movements of troops. They have DAP and DAR munitions, and they're going to drop those. So he's on the train effects on barren terrain. It's cost 1 MP free checks. He's got a movement of 6, so he's going to be moving. And then he's going to drop a DAP right here. Then he'll move one more. Similarly, they're gonna try to block this road off so they can't go on there. So he's gonna go up here, drop a DAP, and then move away from it. And then they also don't want him coming back on the road. He'll put a DAR here. And then he'll move another spot. He has to stay beyond range of that. So I got a few munitions placed there, and then move the rest of the units. Take engineers off the air cars, etc. And move some of the humanoid units. And then play continues from there. So that hopefully gives you a bit of a sense of it. So Starship Troopers from Avalon Hill from 1976. It's one of the earlier games. It's got hardcore science fiction basis. I mean, Robert Heinlein actually even, wrote on the box here. It's based very cleanly on his works. There's a lot of variations you can do, several scenarios. Gives you a good kind of step through learning, a lot of good replayability, and the components hold up really well. Especially the map is phenomenal. The counters are nice. They have good art, good asymmetric abilities between the different races. So it's pretty much a sets the standard for classic games, I think. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Starship Troopers from Avalon Hill, 1976. Thanks a lot.